Welcome to Kevin Deal Photography, where I take you on my journey through photography. On today's episode, we're going to do a recap of all the new gear that was introduced at Imaging USA 2025. I'm pleased to announce the release of my Capture One and Lightroom presets, Metamorphic Portraits, The Sound of Silver, and Rangefinder. These are all available for purchase at my website. Go to kevindealphotography.com or check out a link in the description below. And now, on to today's episode. Welcome to today's episode. If you're not familiar with Kevin Deal Photography, we do gear reviews, tips, techniques, and tutorials, and sometimes we dive into film. If any of that sounds appealing to you, click the subscribe button below. So for all of you who are coming back to my channel, welcome back. And for those of you first-time watchers, as I had already mentioned, I would humbly appreciate it if you click that subscribe button below. I also have a charity, BIG, which helps intellectually disabled adults adapt to jobs in the real world. I would appreciate your donations to that. And if you like this channel and you want to see it grow more, allow me to have access to more gear to review to help you with your buying decisions, I put a super thanks link in the bottom of all my videos. Your donations are appreciated. But the subject of today's video is that I went up to Dallas, Texas to go to the Imaging USA show 2025. I don't really go there for the classes and all that. I go there to check out the new gear. The last 2 years I've done WPPI in Las Vegas, but Las Vegas has gotten stupidly expensive and Dallas is just 2.5 hours up the road since I live in Austin. So this year I opted to go to Dallas, and we're going to have a lot of interviews in today's episode, and I'm going to show you what I thought was pretty cool that stood out among all the different exhibitors. But I will say, if you're new to this channel and you are a Sony or a Nikon user, I don't have a Sony or Nikon-centric channel, so I won't be talking about those brands, and I just want to let you know about it up front. But I did sit down with Canon. I did sit down with Fuji. I had a really good conversation with Sigma about lenses. There were a lot of different vendors that I talked to, and our first stop of the day is going to be at the ProGrade booth. All right, so I'm here with David Sacedo, who's with ProGrade, and we're kicking off this Imaging USA here first. This is our first booth. So, what are the new cool things you guys have coming out from ProGrade in 2025?
Yeah, new cool things. We just recently introduced this Thunderbolt 4 hub. So it has a custom magnetic top base to mount up to 2 of our ProGrade digital readers on there. And it does have a Panda magnetic base on the bottom. So we also have these custom short cables that we designed. They are sold separately. So this is going to enable you to have a nicely neat workflow station that you can customize to your desire. It does have one upstream port of 85 watts, so you connect that to your laptop. It's also going to charge it as well. And then you have 3 Thunderbolt 4 downstream ports, so you can connect it to 2 readers, and then you have an extra one. So to fit it into our ecosystem, you can connect one of our SSDs. Those are USB 4.0. They're available in a 2, 4, and 8 terabyte capacity. They ship in this nice rugged carrying case. This is how you would receive it. It comes with the USB 4.0 certified cable, dedicated storage, and it allows you to basically sit that reader or SSD right on there.
Awesome, so that's the stuff from ProGrade here at the Imaging USA show. I appreciate it, David, and I'll leave all the links where you can check this stuff out in the description below.
So ProGrade has some pretty cool stuff coming out. Another thing that's noteworthy is I now have a Panasonic S9 camera. No, I'm not leaving Canon. No, I'm not leaving Fuji. I was actually considering the newly released Fuji XM5, but it wasn't available anywhere, and I needed a video camera, and Panasonic is pretty darn good for video. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger on that. I went to the Panasonic Lumix booth. They were there with B&H, and they were super helpful in getting me set up with this new camera. And I put my hands on the XM5 and it confirmed something that I wasn't aware of. It's a lot smaller than I thought it was. Like, I knew it was small, but it's really small. And I did an interview with Fuji and we talked about it. So Let's go to that interview right now, and let's talk about the release of the new XM5.
All right, so I am here at the Fuji booth, and if you follow my channel, you know I have the GFX 100S, I have an X-T20, I have an XH2. I'm a Fuji guy for sure. So, when I saw that the XM5 was announced, I was like, that looks like a pretty small camera, but I cannot over-exaggerate how tiny this camera is in person. No, Jay is not super, super, super big. It's that this camera is super, super, super tiny. And so I'm gonna have Jay talk about this cool new camera because I know a lot of you are probably super curious about it. So, go ahead.
So yeah, this is XM5, rigged out with small rig stuff right now. It's actually got a really great kit lens, 15 to 45. Normally there's a stigma against kit lenses, but this one's amazing. If you like 6K video, it's just like a great camera to just have on you. You throw it in your bag and just have a great video rig on you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does 4K 60 as well, which is pretty awesome. And then, what is it, a 24 megapixel? Something like that. Yeah, I'll put the specs below. I'm doing everything off the top of my head here. But this is a cool camera for a lot of people, I think, because obviously if you're a beginner, you've got the film simulation button up on top, so lots of easy to read icons. But the fact that it does do that 4K, 60 frames per second, and shoot in 6K, I think that might very well make this guy pretty cool for like a content creator or just a cool little B-roll camera. You don't want it to take up a lot of space in your bag. And 15 to 45 on a crop body, I mean, that's gonna give you a pretty wide angle of view, all the way beyond a normal field of view. So that's a pretty versatile focal range. And what is the street price on this with the lens?
This one I believe is $899 with the lens.
That's pretty awesome. What's the distribution schedule like on those XM5s? When can people expect them?
That I don't have an answer for.
Someday. Yeah. Hey, I got my X100 pretty quickly. Unfortunately, a lot of people didn't, so I hope to see the XM5 get out a little faster.
Yeah, maybe with the black one coming out too pretty soon.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Jay. We're at the Fuji booth here at Imaging USA 2025, and Fuji has some pretty darn cool new products.
So that XM5 sounds pretty exciting if you can actually get a hold of one. We also went over to the Sigma booth because now that I'm a Panasonic Lumix user, I'm actually more interested in some of the offerings that Sigma has. Plus, for all of you Canon users out there, of course, I'm going to beat that drum of where the hell are the full frame lenses for RF. Of course, Sigma has limited control over that, but I still am going to beat that drum. Let's go to our interview with Sigma.
All right, so I am here with Nick Brona from Sigma, and we're going to talk about what is new in 2025 in the world of Sigma.
Well, nothing is new yet. You know, we're going to be releasing things every single year, new innovative products, maybe some weird focal lengths you haven't seen yet. I believe our CEO may have teased a lens a little while ago that you should look into, but we haven't released anything just yet. Our most recent things would be the 28 to 105 f2.8 Art, which came out late last year, and we also released all of our APS-C lenses for RF mount.
Yeah, the contemporary line.
Yeah, exactly. So if you are an APS-C Canon shooter, then we've got a lot of options, 4 primes and 2 zoom lenses at this point.
Awesome, yes, I have actually used the 16, the 30, and the 56 for the Fuji mount, and I'll leave a link in the description below on my reviews on those, and those lenses are fantastic. So if you're like an R50 or an R10 owner, you can actually check out my Fuji reviews and it'll give you a pretty good idea of how sharp those lenses are and how good the bokeh is and all that. What about, on the subject of Fuji, what about GFX?
GFX is really enticing. We haven't heard anything from headquarters, but certainly there are a lot of medium format users who would love to see Sigma glass on their cameras, but we haven't gotten there yet.
So I do very honest lens reviews on my channel and honest reviews of companies, and my biggest criticism of Fuji for their GFX line is their lack of lens offerings, especially at unique focal lengths. So just throwing that out there.
Okay, we'll take it under advisement for sure.
And then obviously Canon, if you're watching, get these guys on board. So, I'm intrigued also to see if you guys come out maybe with some more Panasonic full frame lenses. I know you guys have those, was it the I series?
Sure. The I-series lenses are all metal, basically made to be more compact, to look really sleek, something that you would actually want to have in your camera and show off. So it's a little bit more of a statement piece than it is necessarily just an all-around lens. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're going to have more of those. I will say that we have a pretty fleshed out line thus far. So we've got everything from a 17 f4 all the way to a 90 2.8, and then there's a bunch of f2s in between. So no matter what kind of focal length that you enjoy, whether you like to shoot wide or portraits, we've got something for you, and they look really cool too.
Now on the cinema line, you guys don't have anything anamorphic, right? It's all spherical?
Yeah, at this point it's all standard lenses.
I'm just saying, if you guys ever came out with a autofocus anamorphic lens, I think that would be so innovative and unique.
Well, I mean, you may have noticed that our cinema line has been out for roughly 8 years at this point, and it's probably time that we start looking into new focal lengths or new designs. So I imagine stuff like that will be coming in the future, but right now we just don't have any word on that.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things, and this is more for camera manufacturers, is they tend to go, well, we have cinema cameras and we have photography cameras that have some video features, but I'm finding that things are starting to get more cross-pollinated. That's why I'm like, hey, having anamorphic on a...
Well, I mean, you may have seen the 28 to 45 a prototype that we revealed last year. That was a cinema lens with autofocus. So, like you said, those lines are starting to blur. So we have a beautifully designed cinema lens that also has autofocus capability, which means you can use it on your Sony Venices and your FX6s and Red's other cameras that utilize autofocus technology, and you can also do manual focus pulling, and it has that build quality that you expect from a cinema lens. So I don't know when and if that lens will be coming out. I imagine that because we showed off the prototype that we'll have it at some point, but again, I don't know for sure.
Well, he teased us with a lot of rumors, so I guess keep checking out Sigma's. Yeah, just keep checking Sigma's website and the rumor sites, because I think we might see some really cool things coming out in 2025.
We'll definitely see some new cool things. Just couldn't say what they are right now, but we are always looking to innovate. So whatever comes out new from Sigma is going to be something that you haven't seen before, something that is fresh and is going to help you look at photography and videography from a new perspective. That's what Sigma's all about.
Excellent. Well, Nick, thank you for letting us stop by the Sigma booth. We're super excited to see what you guys deliver in 2025.
When I went to WPPI in 2024, one of the standout exhibitors there was Hobolite, and they've recently changed their name to Harlowe. So we wanted to stop by their booth to talk to them about why they changed their name. And then we also saw that they had a bunch of new fixtures. They've pretty much turned over their entire line, and it looks like they made a lot of really good upgrades. So let's stop by the Harlowe booth to talk about those upgrades.
All right, so we are here at the Harlowe booth, and if everything in here looks familiar to you, it's because they've recently undergone a name change. You may previously know them as Hobolite, and now they're known as Harlowe. Now, I'm with Joseph of Harlowe, and do you want to briefly comment on the name change? What led to the name change, and what was the reasoning behind it?
So the name change, basically, we were originally Hobolite, and it wasn't really resonating with our followers and just people that were using our lights. So we thought that, we wanted something that people would be proud of and something they can really get behind, and Harlowe was definitely something that we ended up going with just because it's reminiscence of that old Hollywood era. So Harlowe was definitely something that our followers definitely enjoyed.
Well, it's better to change your name in the first couple years of your existence versus like 50 years in. I couldn't imagine Canon or Nikon going, hey, I think we're going to change our names, but a couple years in, I think you can get away with it. And it's still based on the letter H, and the font is all pretty similar. So I think it integrates kind of well. I just wanted to make sure we kind of pointed that out in this interview, because there might be some people who've seen my Avant and my Mini reviews that I did for you all, and might be like, wait a minute, it's Harlowe now. So I just wanted to address that. So I visited your booth at WPPI in Vegas last year. I interviewed Helena. It was awesome. She showed me so many cool products. And since then, it seems like every single product you released a year ago is something completely new, renovated, redone, however you want to say it. You know, for instance, this kind of is the old shell of the Avant series, but now it's a little different. You've got like this, I compared the Avant to a Hasselblad, but this is really like a Hasselblad now because you've got a battery that's like a film back here, which is pretty awesome. So do you want to talk about this series right here, first and foremost?
So this is our Avant Max here, and this is our 80-watt light. What I love about this light is just very portable. As you can see, it's very small, compact. It has 2 USB-C ports that are right here. We have a D-tap port right here. And the output is just, it gives me some of the cleanest light to work with. It's very easy to use, very easy to turn on. Nice bicolor light, and you know, anything you need, you can definitely get done with this light. All of our batteries are IP65 rated, and just the light itself is IP54 really.
So on the blue versions, it's IP54.
Only on the blue version.
These are a little bit more expensive because they're outdoor rated, whereas these are not outdoor rated, but the batteries are.
Yes, all the Max batteries, you can bring them outdoors. They can get a little bit wet and you'll still be fine.
That is a damn optic. Let's talk about this damn optic.
So this is probably one of my favorite things to use here. So I like that you can take it apart like this. This is a 50 millimeter lens on the front of it.
So it's a gobo. It's what, 36 degree gobo?
Yes.
That's cool. Looking through it.
Really nice and premium.
That is awesome. Here, go ahead. I'll let you demonstrate it on the wall real quick.
Okay, so let me go ahead and put this together like this.
The machining on that is fantastic.
Just like that.
Dude, look at this. That's like the Hasselblad that they used on the moon or something. That's what it looks like. Yeah, so here's another cool thing. Just like we do with telephoto lenses, you've got a V-mount on the lens itself versus on the body, so it allows your center of gravity to be in the center as opposed to drooping like that, which is really cool.
That optic was no doubt one of the coolest things I saw at the entire show. It had sleek magnetic holders for the gobos. I want to thank both Joseph and Karan for giving me a cool demonstration of this product. I'm hoping to get one in my hands soon to demonstrate for all of you. Another cool vendor at Imaging USA that was important to me as a studio photographer was Tether Tools. They had some cool new products that we wanted to discuss with them. They came out with some new cables that are a little faster, so let's go to that interview right now.
All right, so I'm here at the Tether Tools booth with Kevin, who has the most awesome first name in the history of mankind, because that's my...
We can all agree on that.
100%. And we're going to talk about the new offerings in 2025 for Tether Tools.
So right now at the booth, we currently have the all-in-one setup. This is your, fully remote setup. All you basically need to bring to the table is your tripod. So down here we have the tripod roller, which gets attached to your standard tripod. Then we have our 4-head crossbar attached to our 2-head. So, and then on top of that, we've got the tether table arrow. And this is fairly modular, so you can break it down and kind of set it up the way that you want. The way that we have it right here is it's more for like a portrait orientation, but you could absolutely take this and mount this on the other 3/8 over here and kind of have like more of like a top-down setup. And then also, if you wanted to, you could break this down, just have the table on top of a tripod, that sort of thing, so it's completely modular. And then the big announcement is going to be the Tether Pro Optima 10G. This is going to be a Gen 2 cable, so as opposed to the 5 gigabit speeds, we're now at 10 gigabit speeds, so twice the speed, with some of the new camera offerings and things like that, so much better connection, much better tethering experience. But then the other big thing is we've removed power from the cables. We were getting some interference, especially with some of the bodies where you're not able to turn off power anymore. This now kind of rectifies that problem. So you don't have any sort of power interruption in your cable, and it extends the lifespan of the camera, especially for those cameras that you can't turn off power.
Awesome. Now, for the all-in-one, what is the price on that?
So right now, this is going to be 27% off. It's open to the public too. So right now, this full setup, everything you see aside from the cable and the lever lock, is going to be at $399.99.
For all of that?
For all of it, except for the tripod. Your cable is going to be separate, and then also again, the lever lock is going to be separate as well.
Very, very cool. And these new cables, are they you said they have launched, or they haven't launched, or they're available now? What's the?
Today is the launch date, so they are available right now.
So these are the hot new cable from Tether Tools. So I'll put links in the description, and so you can check these out. And I thank you, Kevin, for having an awesome name. Have a great show.
Thanks, Kevin.
Some other vendors that I had some dialogue with was Evoto. I didn't do a formal interview with them, but I do want to give them props because I did go by their booth and I made a couple suggestions to them. And they said, hold on, we have our engineers here in the exhibitors lounge. So they took me to the exhibitors lounge. The engineers sat down with me for over 30 minutes. They let me give them feedback. They were vigorously scribbling down notes. And so the fact that they do listen to their customers that much makes me excited for future releases of Evoto. But another booth I want to talk to you about was Nanlite. Nanlite had a cool new LED fixture that seems like it would give you some pretty good accurate color. Let's go to that interview right now.
All right, so I'm here at the Nanlite booth with Barry, and we're going to talk about the new offerings in 2025, or just anything you want to talk about with your products.
Sure. Well, you know, Nanlite is a constant light solution. We kind of do LEDs from like tubes to small fixtures to large fixtures, large soft boxes. So we have a lot of different stuff. We do panels as well. There's a lot of things that we offer that can kind of fulfill whatever they may be trying to create. So whether it's photo, video, cinema, whatever it might be, Nanlite can kind of fulfill that solution and in what it offers. So for new for us right now, probably the newest product we've got is the FC120C. So that's a full color LED fixture right here over my shoulder. It's a nice little light that's compact, but it's 120 watts. It's an RGB WW, so that means it's got red, green, blue, warm white, cool white.
So you have good control over your color temperature.
Exactly, so you can kind of dial in what it is that you're looking for and make it work for, hey, I want a little color on the background, or I'm just trying to light, you know, my subject so that he or she looks very natural in whatever it is they're doing, for a portrait, whatever.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, I have a little bit of experience with your products. I assisted Vanessa Joy on a video she did with your products.
Cool.
So she and I are neighbors.
Yeah.
But and then I also noticed you guys have this Lindsay Adler setup here. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, we can chat about Lindsay. Lindsay's kit is quite unique because of the fact that it gives you a little mixture of both worlds. So it does the tubes, which are what you and I are being lit with right now, but it also does the Forza 60C, which is a very unique fixture. The C is what we call an RGB ACL. That's red, green, blue, lime, amber, cyan. So it's 6 chips of color, so it allows you to create any color temperature, whether it's white light or full color temperature that you need.
So it's like tint as well, basically. Yeah.
So we get a lot of people in the photo side really like the fact that they can use it for, hey, I want to do this but not have to deal with gels.
Yeah.
So I want this to be, you know, much red or blue or green, whatever they're using.
So you can dial in kind of like a Roscoe or a Lee color gel look.
Yep.
And you guys have sort of like an app that can control that possibly?
We do. We have what we call the Nanlink app, and Nanlink allows you to dial in whatever it is on your phone or your iPad or your Android device and be able to kind of control that light, brightness, color, anything you can think of.
I'll put a link in the description below this video where you can check out all the Nanlite stuff and the fixtures that we talked about. And Barry, thank you so much.
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it.
Another cool vendor that we checked out was NiSi. If you're not familiar with NiSi and you are somebody who uses filters, you probably want to make yourself familiarized with them. So let's go to our interview with NiSi. They had a really cool new filter system.
All right, so I'm here with James, which is my middle name. So that is definitely a great start. And we are going to be looking at the latest offering, and it's pronounced NiSi.
NiSi.
That's right. I've always just said NiSi, but I never actually asked NiSi how to pronounce NiSi, so I got it right.
Now you got it right. So
awesome.
Our new product is a magnetic filter system. We finally have gotten into the magnetic filter system, but we brought something pretty interesting, I think, to the market. Our filters are sold in groups of sizes. So these filters are slightly bigger than 82, and they're meant to cover from 62 millimeter up to 82 millimeter. You get these rings that are bases. You screw them on. The filter's then magnetic on. Now what we have that's special about the filters is number one, they're very thin. So you can stack 2 filters and we guarantee no vignetting down to 16 millimeter on a full frame lens. Most lenses you can get away with 3 filters, but we guarantee 2. But we have these tabs that make using the filters very, very easy. And the tabs are colored in groups. So you know, silver is polarizer, gold is a mist filter, green are neutral density filters. And then the last little thing we did to really differentiate ourselves from everyone else is that when the tabs are lined up, they're locked on. So you have the option of locking the filters onto the base so that they won't accidentally come off. Turn them about 10 degrees to the left or the right, and they freely separate from each other. Currently, we have a set that goes from 62 to 82. We have another set that goes from 82 to 95. And later in the year, we will have a smaller set that goes from 40.5 to 58 millimeter.
And we'll have all those prices down below, so that way he doesn't have to remember all that.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, James. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming by, Kevin.
Yeah, and for all you filmmakers out there, check this out. These are some really cool filters.
So if you're familiar with this channel, you know that I like Nomatic backpacks. I use quite a few of them. Nomatic was at Imaging USA, so I had to stop by the booth and say hi to Angel and see what they had that was new.
All right, I'm here with Angel at the Nomatic booth. You guys are an awesome company that I've interviewed before on my podcast channel, but this is for my YouTube channel for my reviews. So, tell us briefly about Nomatic, introduce the audience to what you guys are about, and then let's talk about a new product.
Yeah, so Nomatic, if you've heard of us, you kind of already know, but if you haven't, we make extremely functional and durable bags, and we are known for our travel and everyday backpacks, but then we carried that over into our camera bags. And so if you can imagine, like, we have a lot of crazy stories that come our way. Some that you wouldn't think your camera stuff would survive, but we've seen pictures, we've gotten proof from people, and our bags are, we literally hear that our bags are the best ones on the market.
Well, I'm kind of biased because I own like 4 or 5 of your bags. So I even, like, my son, on like a week before my son's first day of school, his bag was falling apart, and I just happened to get an email from you guys about, oh, we've got these like bags on clearance or whatever, and I was like, that's like a school bag for my kid. That's pretty cheap, and I ordered, my kid uses your bag to take to school.
That's awesome.
So love your bags, but let's talk about maybe something new the audience could be introduced to.
Yeah, so we have a line of these slings. The 8 liter is like the most popular. It's been around for like 2 years now. And we kept getting feedback from our customers, which we are very customer centric, and we listen to our customers. And people kept saying, I wish we had a little bit more.
Always.
And honestly, like, a big thing when people say they wish they had a little bit more is they wish they could bring either a 14-inch laptop or a tablet with them as well. So we gave them a little bit more, and even the laptop space. So everything is built with a purpose. So we have a ton more space. You can fit 70 to 200 with a camera attached in this thing. You can add a couple other lenses. I usually like to keep my 24 to 70 on me and some primes. It's awesome, fits everything, and I even throw a light on top. Generally a smaller light like the Amaran 25C. Fits perfectly right on top of everything. And you literally have a whole kit. And you don't need to have to feel like you need to buy more accessories, because we do add in memory card slots, battery slots, cables or filters. So this is a all-in-one sling, and it almost fits as much as a backpack.
So something that's standing out to me about this, first and foremost, I like this cool little added trolley thing here just in case you're traveling around with a bag. But so, like, right now, for example, I've got my XH2 on my hip. I kind of like how, and I'm going to try to not hit my mic, I like how rigid this is, to where it's like you have a table on your hip where you can get and access things and it's not like falling over. That's something that immediately stands out to me. It's good. And I actually own the 8 liter version of this, and a really cool feature I like is if you're in a hurry, you can just strap this in real quick. So if you need to bend down or something, your stuff's not gonna fall over, but you also don't have to like zip things up and unzip them, which I think is pretty cool.
Keeps you on the move.
Yeah, it keeps you on the move.
Yeah.
So really, really cool product. I'll let you keep talking. Some things I noticed about it, because this is my first time encountering this. I had the 8-liter. I'm pretty excited about this 12.
Yeah, and like you pointed out, this is my favorite feature as well, but it's also probably the most underrated, or some people don't even notice it in there.
Yeah.
So when they do see it and they're like, that's genius. Like this little tab with the elastic is probably the biggest selling point. Once somebody sees it, they're like, that's genius.
The light bulb moment goes up. Well, also, you guys have these right here. You can buy some optional hooks.
Yep.
It doesn't come with them, right?
It doesn't come with them, but we sell 2 for $20.
So for 2 for $20, you can get like a hook here, a hook here, a hook here, and a hook here, and then like a little, I guess it's nylon or something.
Yeah.
You can tie down like a speed light or maybe a little tripod stand or something like that, which is kind of cool.
Since you can almost fit a whole kit in this thing, another important feature, which is also on your 8-liter, is that it comes with a stabilizer strap. So if you don't want it swinging around, you want to keep it.
It goes like, so you got your sling going this way, you have another one that goes the other way.
Exactly. It keeps it in place. But then also, it has straps here, so you can actually attach a tripod with you.
To the bottom.
To the bottom.
So you can use those same straps instead of using them here.
You could use one. You could use 2 here, or if you need extra, you can buy 2 sets and keep 2 here as well. Like hang a jacket or something from it.
That's pretty cool. And what is the retail price on this guy for those watching?
So this is brand new. Came out about 3 to 4 weeks ago. This thing retails for $200, $199.99. It's an absolute steal. Like, you can do so much with this, and you don't have to carry all the weight on your back and stuff. So I absolutely love this product.
Awesome. And then of course, you probably, if the name Nomatic is ringing a bell, they do sell that Peter McKinnon backpack.
Yeah, we definitely sell the crap out of his backpack.
I got the 35 myself. So
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for letting us stop by, Angel, and we'll leave links in the description below for all of these products.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Cool, man.
Yep.
Dude, I gotta get that.
One of the standout companies was Typoch, however you pronounce that. They have these really cool Leica-like lenses for the Fuji X mount, and I believe they also make them for other mounts as well. I believe they make it for L and some other mounts. Really high quality. Here's what we found at that booth.
So I'm here at the Typoch booth. They've got some manual focus lenses for Fuji, and these have some really cool thumb manipulation on there to really dial in the focus. I'm gonna take a couple pictures with it. So here, I'll take a picture of the Sony. I'll get you that minimum focusing distance, right? Let me get in. That's pretty, right there's your minimum focusing distance. That's a sweet lens. What's the retail on this one?
$699.
$699. Yeah, so these are kind of like Leica lenses, $699, but I can tell you that the construction, the quality on this is incredible. So if you're one of those Fuji shooters who shoots manual focus, you really like manual focus, these are really standout lenses at the show. Little booth off in the corner. You got Canon, you got Nikon, you got Sony, all the big booths. This is one of the standout booths, one of the standout companies that you might want to check out from the Imaging USA show, because these lenses are absolutely fantastic.
We also stopped by the Godox booth. They had some pretty cool fixtures. They have a new speed light, and let's talk about that in our interview.
So we are here at the Godox booth. I am here with Taylor, and we're going to be talking about some cool new products for 2025, or some that maybe came out last year that are just getting kind of popular in 2025. So go ahead.
Yeah, so let's start off with the transmitter. I'm sure everybody's familiar with the old Godox transmitters. This time they advanced it, so the X3 transmitter will have a nice little screen like this, and the biggest feature is that touch screen. So anybody who has shot with Godox knows this is revolutionary right here, because you can quickly go to manual, TTL, you can quickly add a group, discard a group. So this is one of the best, I think, improvements on the transmitter I've seen.
So Taylor doesn't know this because he's not aware of my channel, but I did a best of in 2024, and I named my product of the year the X3, because as somebody who shoots on both ProPhoto and Godox, this trigger is actually cooler than anything ProPhoto makes at 4 times less of the price. So product of the year, this thing is awesome. Literally the only thing I faulted it for is it didn't have a port on the side for controlling my old film cameras.
You got it.
That's it.
You got
so
it.
if you guys make a Pro version with a little port on the side,
hey, I've already written an email because my daily driver is an RZ67, so I needed something with a port. But you have good taste, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right, what else we got here?
Let's go on a new menu system, a new light. So we have the V100. This is the continuation of the V series. V1 Pro was the last in the series. This is a round head flash. The V100 is named that because it's 100 joules or 100 watt seconds. So you have a lot of power on top of your camera.
So it's like an 80-100 speed light.
Exactly. So combined with the V1 Pro, so you'll even have your secondary flash here. So if you need a fill flash and a regular flash, you have that. You also have this pretty sick screen. So very similar to this, very similar to the ProPhoto system. Makes it a lot more easy, a lot more functional to use. So,
which systems is this available for?
This is Sony, Panasonic, Nikon, and Canon right now. And I believe they're going to be a Leica one, but those always take a little while to come in.
Fuji?
Oh yeah, Fuji. I'm sorry. I'm a GFX shooter, and I forgot
I am
Fuji.
too. See, we need to hang out. I appreciate it, Taylor. And yeah, this is what Godox has so far in 2025.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Awesome.
I had to stop by my friends over at Cheetah Stand. Cheetah Stand was supplying a lot of the photographers at this show. I love Cheetah Stand's C-Series, so we stopped by their booth and had a quick interview.
All right, so we're here at the Cheetah Stand booth. I visited them on my podcast, but now I'm visiting them on my YouTube channel for Kevin Deal Photography. So nice. David with Cheetah Stand, my favorite dude, hooks me up with some really good stands. Talk to everybody about who Cheetah Stand is and your most popular products, and if you have anything new in 2025.
Yeah, so we're coming out with some pretty cool things. What we're known for is the Cheetah Stand. What's special about the Cheetah Stand is you put them down and they automatically open their legs, which makes moving around pews and around things real easy compared to traditional light stands where you have to bend over and it's stuck and you're banging into things. So it's really frustrating. With ours, we just close them down. We have 8 foot, 10 foot, 12 foot. One of the big things about our company we want to stress is that we don't want you to buy brand new stands every single time. What we want you to do is restore them because we do carry repair parts to keep them going. Some of the cool things that we're bringing out is we're improving on the Cheetah Stands by adding some of the customer requests, by adding springs. So we'll be coming out with a C12 heavy duty spring that's going to add springs into them so that there'll be a cushion to it, which is going to be great.
I don't have the spring one, so that sounds cool.
Yeah, so we'll make sure we get you hooked up, Kevin. The other things that we're adding in is we're adding more booms into our inventory. So this is the medium boom, and then we also have the HD Super Boom, which will actually go all the way up to 18 feet. So that is an amazing boom. Within the boom mode, it'll actually carry 36 pounds at the very end.
That's a lot.
That is a lot of weight. So if you got flags,
that's like a 600 watt second strobe with like a 70-inch modifier on it.
Yeah. So those are some of the little things that we're, at this point, our products are pretty solid, but we're taking in customer information and saying, what do we need to do, the little tweaks to make your life a little bit easier? So that's what we're doing next.
You guys do Godox repair as well, right?
We also do Godox repairs. What's great about that is, I don't even think Godox will, fix their own strobes.
No, you have to, if you buy Godox in the US, this is where you get them fixed if you have a problem.
We will fix your Godox strobes. So 8200s, 8300s, 8400s, 8600s, battery reboots, anything that is not easily replaceable by the consumer, we will fix that for you. And then in the future, we're also going to add these strobes, the smaller speedlight strobes, as repair options as well.
Pretty awesome. And then you guys are all in your spare time, you're photographers.
Yeah, we're actually photographers as well. So one of the beauties about this company is I was a user of Cheetah Stand for the last 15 years, before we got a chance to take over the company, which has been fantastic. So we understand the user issues that most people have. Some of these companies out here, they're just pushing products at you without actually using it and thinking about some of the processes. For example, we're a huge umbrella style setup rather than some of the more other companies are using flip boxes. They look great, they look cool, they work well, but I still feel like an umbrella, for example, is faster and packs down lighter than a softbox that is flip open. And then when we get to our softboxes, for example, one of the great things about our softboxes, we have 16 rods, for example, in this one. So if you look at it, it's not hexagonal. It's actually a lot more circular than some of our competitors as well.
More natural catch light.
It's a more natural catch light. So when you look at it, it doesn't look like a softbox. It looks more like a sun.
I like that.
Yeah. And then one of the reasons we also have that is we have this inside to make sure that the light spreads even further. It creates less of a hotspot as well. And so this is the two advantages in our softboxes and why we haven't moved over to the flip style softbox, because we want that specific kind of catch light, and we think a photographer that really knows their lighting and really understands how that works will prefer that over a flip box.
I personally love the circular catch light, not the octagonal one, so
exactly.
you're preaching to the choir here.
Yeah. So it's the little things like that that goes a really long way as you improve in your photography career, or if you're already a professional, you understand exactly where it's at.
Awesome, David. Well, I'm going to put all the pricing for their C-Series stands, all their new products in the description of this video. David, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful show.
Yeah, you too, man. Cheers.
And lastly, I do want to talk about the fact that Canon was gracious to take about an hour of their time with me to talk about suggestions that I had for their line. But before we go into that, I had some opinions about some of their new lenses.
For all you Canon followers of the channel, I finally got my hands on the internally zooming 70 to 200 that I guess some people didn't like because it had onion ring bokeh, but I don't know, man. This lens is pretty slick. It's pretty sharp. Yeah, I'm using it on an R1, but this lens is pretty awesome. I personally don't have a need for a 70 to 200 because I like my 135, 1.8. But if I were shooting events, man, I would buy this lens in a heartbeat. Maybe I can convince them to let me do a review of it, just to be sure. But yeah, this is a really awesome lens. Good isolation. The acquisition of focus on it is super fast, man. And the bokeh is awesome. All right, so I got the 50 VCM here on the R5 Mark II. I know my way around that because I own one of those. Very light, very compact, and I'm not gonna lie to you. If this thing takes nearly as good of pictures as my 51.2, I might get rid of my 51.2 because this is super light, really compact. So maybe I'll get a hold of one of these soon and do a review of it. But really, oh man, the bokeh on this. I don't have a card in here, but I can tell you that the bokeh on this is actually quite nice. Minimum focusing distance is about right here. So what is that, about 13 inches? Something like that. Yeah, right about there. Man, that bokeh is pretty sweet. So just like my 35 millimeter 1.4 VCM, feels pretty similar. So I might have to check this guy out as well. Another new offering from Canon.
So I thought those lenses were cool, actually having put them in my hands. I know there's a lot of negativity surrounding some of the new RF releases, but a lot of those are just YouTubers who just make YouTube videos and don't actually go out and shoot real projects. I thought that both the 70 to 200 and the 50 VCM were fantastic. I had a chance to talk to a senior technical specialist from Canon for over an hour. He was super awesome about my feedback. He asked me, hey, what can we do to make the system better? So some things that I suggested to Canon is, hey, let's do 6K open gate so we have more options in post-production when we're doing video recording. I asked for an internal 4-stop ND filter because we're starting to blur the line with creators and you know, what's the difference between a cinematographer and a photographer these days? It's starting to become more blurred. I thought it'd be kind of cool if they made a street photography camera, kind of like an X106, but not with a fixed lens, be able to take advantage of their interchangeable lenses. I also asked them to start putting the weather sealing in their cheaper lenses because other camera companies are doing it. And it's no longer a premium. I asked them to put tracking inside their more expensive cameras, something like an AirTag or Find My Phone. Figure out how to do it, but if Apple has been doing it for 10 years on their phones, you can certainly find out a way to do it on a $6,000 camera. Some other things, I asked for a f2 Trinity. So they've got a 28 to 70 f2. I would like to see something like a 15 or 16 to 28 f2, and then something like a 70 to 135 f2. I think having a trifecta of f2 lenses would be pretty awesome. I asked for a more stripped down version of the 24 to 105 2.8. While it's great that it has all those video centric features like the iris, the aperture ring, the little screw holes on the side for you to mount a motor on there, a lot of you just want a 24 to 105 2.8 for photography. So I was like, hey, just maybe make a more stripped down version of it in the same shell. Because there's a lot of photography only people out there who find those features to be a turnoff and the extra cost isn't worth it. So I will say Canon does have some big announcements coming down the pipeline. I wasn't informed as to what they are, but I was told that they do have some things coming up pretty soon, so stay tuned for those. So that's kind of a recap of the things that stood out to me at Imaging USA 2025. Was there anything that stood out to you? Did you find this show to be kind of boring? Obviously, WPPI is coming up in another 5 or 6 weeks, so there may be some big announcements between then and now. That does it for today's episode. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. If you found this information useful, you found it helpful, could you click the subscribe button below? I would greatly appreciate that. And until next time, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.